Hello and good evening. It is Wednesday night, Fireside Chat. Hello and good evening. Got a little bit of an echo here. Have you shared the video with your friends? If you haven't, please take a quick moment to do so. Last couple of weeks, we've been putting the video up a few minutes early so that those that have those that want to join early can go ahead and join. And they've got a few minutes to settle in and whatnot, because I've heard from several who join us and then throw the video up on their TVs, and I know that can take a minute or two. And so we've been trying to get these videos started earlier, even though we don't officially begin until 8 o'clock on the dot. That's what we shoot for, at least. Austin says, "Fire it up." Notes from the parsonage says here. And Rob Barnes says, hello and good evening. Hello, Rob in Texas. I hope you're doing well this evening. What's the weather like out there? It's kind of rainy, drizzly, overcast. It's been that sort of day all day today out here in Georgia. And so, yeah, let us know how you're doing in the comments. We did have a bit of a snafu last week with some trollish comments from oddly named people. That's all we'll say. We reported and dealt with all that sort of stuff. I believe your comments are going to have to be, nope, not approved by admin. But, yeah, we'll try to be on guard, as the book title by William Lane Craig reads. We'll be on guard against those trollish comments. Hopefully those were just kind of a one-off. Never had that sort of thing happen before in any of our videos. Hopefully that sort of thing won't be happening tonight. And hopefully none of you have any idea what I'm talking about, because you are blissfully ignorant of the comments that were popping up that Lindsay was meticulously deleting as they were coming in. But David and Christy say that David and Christy are here. It looks like they're joining us via Facebook, which brings up something in my mind, something I wanted to mention to you. Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel? Who did the logo? That's a good question. That logo is a masterpiece, a unique piece by none other than Miss Lindsay Jane Wilson, along with the help. God, Bold. 10 minute Wilson in 18 years. Miss Lindsay. I don't even, that felt so natural even to say it. And I don't think I've even said that phrase altogether in a long time. But Miss Lindsay Jane, along with the help of Miss Daisy Esther Godbold. Lindsay did the majority of the drawing, but she let Daisy do the little flames atop each of the candles here. I think I pointed to each one. And so, love the best logo yet, says Austin. David and Christy ask, where's Austin? I don't see his comments. So you would see his comments on the YouTube video, not on the Facebook video, because the YouTube video, if I'm not mistaken, is able to bring them all in. No. If you're on YouTube, you see the YouTube comments. If you're on Facebook, you see the Facebook comments. We, using StreamYard, see both. And I got my Lindsay Jane Godbold here to my right, serving as our producer tonight, fielding comments. And as your comments come in, the really good, juicy ones she'll throw up on the screen. That way you can see them. But David says, I'm on Facebook, so I comment. Christy's on YouTube. All right, so Christy will see the YouTube comments. David will see the Facebook comments, and y'all just keep those comments coming as much as you would like. Oh, what was I going to say? Have you subscribed to the YouTube channel yet? If you haven't, what are you waiting on? Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're on YouTube, you can hit the subscribe button. Also, be sure and ding, ring that bell, because if you ring the little bell on the video, then it'll set you up for notifications. So anytime we go live on YouTube, it will it'll notify you that we're on YouTube. And of course, you can always modify your notification settings. Some of you have push notifications set up on your phone. Some of you have screened out that sort of stuff, scrub that from your life on your phone. And actually, it's pretty wise. Nobody needs a phone constantly vibrating. But if you want to be sure to catch us live when we go live on YouTube, you can ding, ring that little bell on the video. David says, Christy doesn't know how to comment. I don't know how to tell you how to comment because I'm not even on YouTube right now. I'm just on StreamYard, so I don't even know what it looks like. But maybe somebody else can throw a comment up there. What are we looking at here? Can I pull it? Can I show them? Can we show them? All right. What are we looking at here? All right. So there's your video on YouTube.
It's what do they do? White.
Huh?
You can't see it.
Yeah, you can't really see. But
so on YouTube.
Yeah.
You just click the live chat button.
Oh, there on YouTube, there's a live chat button that you can hit, and that gives you an opportunity to throw some comments up there on YouTube. What else was I gonna say? Oh, couple of quick things. Of course, a few weeks ago, we brought back on Sunday mornings our prayer list for the pastoral prayer. If you're wondering what in the world is the difference between pastoral prayer and other prayers, that sort of thing. Late in our service, we've got a period of time for congregational prayer, pastoral prayer, and then we pray a collect together. And the collect is where we pray collectively a written prayer together. But before that, I pray a pastoral prayer, which is where I, as pastor of the church, am lifting up the various needs of the church and kind of guiding the congregation through a time of prayer together. And prior to that, we've got congregational prayer where anybody in the congregation can pray aloud as they feel led, or if no one feels led to pray aloud, then we just kind of enjoy some time of quiet prayer together. And normally Andrew is off to the side of me playing some music as we spend that time in prayer together. But the pastoral prayer, one of the things that we've been making available these last few weeks is that prayer list. And up at the top, it's an opportunity for you to put your name and something you're thankful for. And at the bottom, there's an opportunity for you to put your name and something that you would like prayer for. Of course, that's a public list, so it's not going to be confidential or kept in confidence because it's for the pastoral prayer, which, of course, is done by me in front of the whole congregation. And then also anybody that watches on YouTube or Facebook, they're able to see it as well. So that list, of course, is not something to be kept in confidence. But if you are wanting to share some prayer requests and that sort of stuff that you are wanting to be kept in confidence, we this past Sunday brought back, oh man, it's white. You can't, it's, oh, there it is, the communication card. You like that? Yeah, the communication card. There's a place for you to put your name, the day's date, phone number. If that's changed, let me know that updated phone number, email address, your home address. There's also, if you're a guest with us, how'd you find out about a church? And I always love when we've got guests there. And obviously, I just love there being guests there, but I really love hearing how those guests found out about us. They'll write down, Sarah and Jesse told me and invited me, that sort of thing. I love reading that sort of stuff. On the back, there's a place where I say, hey, I'm so glad. Let me see. What does it say? It says, I'm glad that you're here with us for worship this morning, and I'll be praying for you throughout this coming week. Is there anything specific about which I can be praying? Notice that fantastic prepositional phrase usage there, about which I can be praying. You catch that, Austin? Pastor Adam is how it's signed. And then there are plenty of blanks. Uh-oh, my phone is going to die in a few minutes, so we're going to have to get in the saddle here in just a moment. But there are several blanks where you can write any prayer requests that you're wanting. I keep these in confidence. I'm the only one that sees these. And they let me know how I can be praying for you specifically. Anything that you've got going on in life that you want me to be praying for privately. I promise that I am praying for you, and then promise that I'll pray specifically according to the needs that you mentioned there. And then, of course, there's a place at the bottom where you can let me know, are you interested in becoming a member? Get to that in just a moment. Are you interested in joining a weekly small group study? Are you interested in serving our community? We got some things that are in the hopper on all this sort of stuff. Are you interested in meeting with a pastor? And if so, about what? You want to tell me what it's about, or you just want me to walk in there blindly? But So these communication cards serve as a great opportunity for us to communicate together, for you to let me know what's going on in life. Let me know if your contact information needs to be updated or if there's anything particular about which I can be praying. Also, Austin, did you notice on that little note up at the top, I did double space between the sentences, between the sentence break. I did a little period, double space, a little bit of that 1990s public education coming out there, which I think was pretty good. At least for me, it was at the time. All right, so here we go. Oh, we got new members. We're going to welcome them into the church this coming Sunday morning, but we've got a couple of new members who have joined us. I'm not going to drop names here. I'm just going to let you show up Sunday morning and see who they are. People that we love, people that have become such an important part of our congregation. They're going to be joining us officially this coming Sunday morning. They've actually officially joined because I got the covenant signed, dated, sealed, all that good stuff. And this coming Sunday, we will be welcoming them in, presenting them to the congregation. We got double spaces. Woo! Hello. Double spaces and Oxford commas. Oh, I do. Do I have an Oxford comma in there? Did I? I am an Oxford comma user, a proud Oxford comma. Are you kidding me? We've already got a comment getting blocked on YouTube's.
I'm just being fast.
I love it. I love how quick she's quick on the draw, folks. Don't challenge her. Please. Don't you dare challenge her.
I don't want to have to turn off comments.
Yeah, we will turn off comments if we have to. But right now, we're going to let them keep rolling. Christy doesn't know how to comment. Hopefully. Oh, we've already addressed that, I think. All right, here we go. What is that name? That's what I wanted to share with you in the way of announcements this evening. Catherine says hi. Hi, Catherine. So awesome to see you here. Let's get going. All right, so this past Sunday we've been talking for the last several weeks about prayer pretty significantly. We thumbs downed it too. What's that even mean?
I gave it a dislike on YouTube.
On the video?
Yeah.
Boo. Bring it. Hey, any attention, good attention. Appreciate that. So this past Sunday we were looking at Jesus's high priestly prayer in behalf of the church, both the church during his time, the 12 disciples, as well as the other disciples that he had amassed and was about to be sending out to establish the church throughout the world, but also the church today as he does pray for future believers, us included. So we looked at John chapter 17 at some length this past Sunday morning, and we're going to be looking at it again this coming Sunday morning. But so we're doing kind of a double flyover of John chapter 17, and what we're talking about is the heart of Jesus. We're talking about what John 17 reveals to us about what is the heart of Jesus. What is his great desire? What are the things about which he is thinking and the things about which he is concerned the night before the cross? As the cross is looming large in his mind, what are the things that are on his mind that he's sharing with the Father in prayer? Sorry, I'm really bad with syntax when I'm reading comments. I have to read them a couple of times to figure out what in the world's going on here, how to give the right emphasis on the wrong syllable, and how to syntactically, I don't even know what that word would be, read it appropriately. So this past Sunday, we talked quite a bit about the church. We talked quite a bit about the world, the relationship of the church to the world. And as I was reflecting back on that this afternoon, it struck me that there's a bit of a paradox in Jesus' high priestly prayer, because notice this in verse 9. Jesus prays specifically. He says, I'm praying for them. That's the disciples. I'm praying for them. I'm not praying for the world, but for those whom you have given me, for they are yours. Of course, he goes on there. But then in verse 15, notice he says this. So you've got this kind of division. I'm praying for them, not the world, which obviously creates a bit of division mentally between the church and the world, between the disciples of Christ, the followers of Christ, and the world. And he uses the term the world a few times, or in a few different ways, specifically in this prayer, but also generally in the scriptures. The world is used in a number of ways. Number one, it could just mean the created world, which is not a bad thing, not an inherently bad thing. It's a good thing, truth be told, because God created it. Sometimes it talks about like kind of the spirit of the world, the heart of the world, the way the world thinks, which is always leaning toward bad, if not overtly evil and overtly contrary to the mind of Christ. And then there are times where it's used kind of in a neutral way, talking about people from the world and of the world, that sort of thing. So look then at verse 15. He says, I do not ask that you take them out of the world. Here he's using world in either a good or a neutral way, not a bad way per se. They are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. Okay, perhaps he is talking about the mind of the world or the spirit of the world, the zeitgeist, the spirit of the age. But he says they are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. Oh, he says, I do not ask that you take them out of the world. Sorry, I skipped a line there. I do not ask that you take them out of the world, but that you keep them from the evil one. Well, why does Jesus say specifically, I'm praying for the disciples, or I'm praying for my church, I'm praying for our people, those who belong to you, Father, and therefore also belong to me, Father. I'm praying for them. I'm not praying for the world. I pray for them, not that you would take them out of the world, but that you would keep them from the evil one. And then he prays this in verse 21. He's talking about, well, you got to start in verse 20 because 21 picks up in the middle of a thought. It says, I do not ask for these only, but also for those who will believe in me through their word. Of course, now he's talking about the future church, the church today even. That they may all be one. We're going to talk a little bit about that Sunday morning. I say a little bit, quite a bit about that Sunday morning. Just as you, Father, are in me and I in you. He's talking here about, we good? He's talking here about kind of an indwelling life. The Father and the Son and the Father. He's talking about this indwelling life. And he's praying that for the church. Then notice what he says. That they also may be in us. Why? So that the world may believe that you have sent me. So I said that there's a bit of a paradox, and that paradox rests in this tension. The tension between the church is not the world, and the world is not the church. And Jesus prays for the church. He does not pray for the world, but he's not praying for the church and not the world because he doesn't care about the world. He's praying for the church to be strengthened, to be unified, to be protected from the evil one. Why? For the sake of the world. And so this past Sunday morning, I ended with a thought that I think cannot be stressed enough. It cannot be overemphasized. It cannot be hyperbolized. I said the world desperately needs a holy church, truly living out the death and resurrection of Jesus in the power of his Spirit. Only this holy church, this church that is living out the holy life of the triune God, being conformed to the death of Christ, being remade in the image of Christ, only this glorifies the Father before the world, and only therein is there hope that the world might be saved. There is no hope for the world unless men and women, children of God, care more about others than they care about themselves. They care more about the God who made them in their image than they care about themselves. They care about their neighbor more than they care about themselves. They care about the least of these and the last of these. They care about the forgotten. They care about the isolated. They care about the poor. They care about those who are alone, those who are without hope, more than they care about themselves. Only then is there hope of redemption for the world. So this coming Sunday morning, we're going to be talking about what the life of the church looks like, what what it means to be the people of the triune God, what it means to have the life of Christ being lived out in our midst as the church in the world for the sake of the world. And so we're going to be using John 17 again as our template of thought this coming Sunday morning. We're going to be coming back through that prayer, and we're going to be focusing in on some other phrases and some other points that Jesus makes in his prayer to the Father on the night that he's betrayed, standing before the cross. And we're going to be thinking about what it means to be the church in the world for the sake of the world, all to the glory of the Father, in the Son, by the Spirit. Do we have any comments? Anybody, have we had to shut down comments? Or are we still rolling with comments? All right, yeah. Does anybody have any questions, comments, thoughts, maybe an idea that stuck out in your mind this past Sunday morning? I'm going to keep talking for a moment, stall just for a little bit, and give you a chance to share those with us if you have any. Another thing I mentioned this past Sunday that I think can't be overemphasized is that the glory of Jesus is wrapped up in the cross of Jesus. When Jesus talks about being glorified, he talks about his hour and the hour of his glory and the hour in which the Father is glorified in the Son. He has hitched it up with the cross, with his passion. Thoughts on the Benedict option? Man, that's a rich one. That's a good question, Austin. I've actually I've been a part of these Francis Asbury Society prayer calls for the last year and a half, almost 2 years now. Yeah, about a year and a half now. And we've talked a little bit about the Benedict option, just because a couple of the guys on those prayer calls have been reading it together and discussing it. So first of all cards on the table. I've not read the Benedict option yet. I'm somewhat familiar with it, at least with the general tone of it and the general idea of it. I've heard, what's his name? He's the guy down in Louisiana. He's Orthodox. Oh goodness, what is his name? You remember his name? Austin, let me know his name. I've heard him speak on it and do interviews about the book. He also wrote that book, Live Not by Lies, that came out just a few months ago, I believe within the last year. So truth be told, I have not read the book, but I'm somewhat familiar with the argument. All right, a couple of things. Number one, I generally like the idea and also generally dislike the idea. And the reason why his name is Rod Dreher, because I've got Live Not by Lies right here, and I knew that he wrote both of them. But so Rod Dreher, the thing I do like about it is his what I think is his love for and passion for the church and for truth and for Christian for the Christian worldview and the preservation and hope of culture. I don't think it's a despairing approach. However, the thing that does concern me about it is that the church has to take seriously her evangelistic call to this generation and not just to future generations. Wash your face, Rod. Wash your face. So I really, that's a book I need to read, but I'm really bad about when I'm told you have to read this by the world or by people in who everybody listens to. I normally kind of dig in my heels and say no, I'm not going to do it. but then again, if somebody says, "Oh goodness, this is a terrible book. You cannot read this. You ought not read," I'm always tempted to read it because I want to know, hey, what's going on here? So it is a book that I really need to read. I'm sure I need. In fact, as I continue my doctoral work, it's probably going to be a necessary book for me to read because I'm starting to kind of focus in my doctoral research around the nature of the church as the embodied body of Christ, or as the incarnate body of Christ in the world. And so it's a book I need to read. It's a book that if you've read, and I do read it, I'd love for us to converse about at some point. But the church does need to take very seriously her call to reach the culture and to reach unbelievers today, not just down the road once everything collapses. However, at the same time, the church does need to take very seriously her call to love the church. Let me think about how I want to say this. I'll just say it, and if I need to apologize later, I'll think about it. To love the church and to serve the church even before she loves and serves the world. Because in the same way that a man's obligation is first to his family and then to others that God has put in his life, so also is the church's first obligation to care for her family, not exclusively, but only then is she enabled to also care for the world. So I do think that Christian families and Christian communities need to take very seriously the need to protect themselves against the onslaught of the world and to protect themselves against being absorbed into the ways and the values of the world. And the church really for so long in our culture has been very much in lockstep with the values of the world. And that's not a good thing. Any other questions, comments? I think I see them up here as they come in, but I see Lindsay laughed at Austin's joke about wash your face, Rob. All right, doesn't look like we got any more comments. How far in are we?
31 minutes.
31
and 39
minutes.
seconds.
Okay, so it's like it's what 8:25 or something like that, because I think we started 5-6 minutes early. 28. Okay. All right. So if there are no more comments, then we're gonna wrap it up. But I'm gonna stall just for another minute or so, or another few seconds or so, see if there are any more comments. Thank you all, those of you who have joined us. Thank you all those of you who have shared our video on Facebook or through text message, telling your friends about our YouTube channel. If you haven't yet done so, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, ding, hit that bell, ring bells, go ding-a-ling-a-ling, ring little bells, as the VeggieTales would sing it. Or what's the ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling? That reminded me of Sufjan Stevens, which I think that's probably one that he wrote. Look, Baby Jesus is the King. You're probably wondering, what in the world are you talking about? You could Google it. Great song. Our kids love it. Yeah, ring the bell if you haven't done so yet, so that you can be notified when we go live on YouTube. We look forward to worshiping with you this coming Sunday morning, either in person or online. And until then, blessings to you all.